Hey guys, welcome back to the house vlog series. Oh, I've got my little friend here. Hello. There's boxes everywhere in my house at the minute. We just unpacked a bunch of new filming lights. And yeah, we've made a bit of an epic mess, really. So obviously I'm back from America. Oh, Georgia, stop, darling. Darling. She never listens. I think I told you guys already that Brandon was going to the tender appointment by himself. That all went fairly well. There were a couple of curly hairs thrown in there. For example, when we went to the World of Style to select our tapware and things and our basins for throughout our house, we were told that a particular line of taps and basins were included as part of the prestige build. Brandon got to tender and obviously they were like, oh no, they're not included. Brandon was like, well, that's ridiculous because we spoke specifically and we asked specific questions at the sales appointment and stuff about that, and we were told that they were. So they were actually able to override that for us. Thank goodness. Yeah, everything else went fairly well. We did cut a couple of things back out of the budget again because it was getting a little bit out of hand. What did we cut out? There were a few things, like there was like some fancy curtains and stuff for in the void area and some other things that we've cut out. But other than that, the tender process went fairly smoothly. Like it all went really well. We have decided, and I don't think I've updated you guys yet, we have decided to source our floorboards externally outside of Porter Davis. Oh, yeah, okay, so this is a really interesting story. You're gonna love this one. So obviously when you build a house with Porter Davis, you can either go with laminate floors or with real hardwood floors with a few, like from a few different suppliers. One of the suppliers that Porter Davis does work with is called French Oak Floorboards. They make the most gorgeous floorboards, and you guys would have seen in my previous vlog about the whole and ahhing about what floorboards to choose and all of that. You would have seen that. So we went to the sales office of the floorboards directly to ask some questions because we weren't sort of getting, you know, the exact answers that we wanted from the sales reps at the World of Style. And we said, look, how would it work with, you know, getting the floorboards installed straight through you direct? And straight out we learned that if we got the floorboards supplied directly through the exact same provider that Porter Davis uses, so they would basically, like Porter Davis would finish the house and then they would come in afterwards and install the floorboards after handover. So it's like, it's done completely separately. But by doing that, instead of getting them installed with Porter Davis, we save about $8,000. What? I know, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, $8,000? Essentially, Porter Davis chucks on an extra charge of $8,000 to do it through them. So to any of you building with a builder, a volume builder, obviously they're a business, so they do have to add on like a premium on top of, you know, the regular price for things because that's how they make their profit. But come on, it's exactly the same provider, it's exactly the same product. Porter Davis doesn't have to use their own tradesmen to install the floors, like the floorboard guy does that. They essentially charge you $8,000 for nothing. So we were like, nah, that's crazy. So we are going with floorboards, and we are going with the darker colored floorboards, but we're getting them installed after handover of the house. So I was pretty peeved about that, I'm not gonna lie. And I do have a sample of the floorboard. I will show you guys a sample of it in a second. But yeah, that is that situation. So floorboards are a go, and we're getting the darker ones. Yay! I'm so glad that we made that decision. I was like stressing. I was like, oh my God, what do we do about these floors? What color? And I'm so bad at choosing colors. And I remember I watched, like when I was editing the last vlog and watching the footage, Brandon was like, dark, dark, dark. He wasn't even having a bar of it, so dark it is. Now since then, I have come back obviously from America, and we did go to our contract appointment. We did have another surprise thrown at us during the contract appointment, and we still are actually in arguments with them about a few of the things in the contract that we're trying to sort out. The first one being the 6-star energy rating. Oh my goodness. So in Victoria here in Australia, the government's brought in a new rule that basically any new house that's constructed or any house that undergoes a significant renovation has to meet a 6-star energy rating. It's a new government requirement, and like that's fine, not an issue. Throughout this whole process, Porter Davis has always said from the start, 6-star energy rating is included as part of your build. Don't worry, your house will be 6-star energy rated. Okay, that's all well and good. We get to the night before our contract appointment, and they had sent through, you know, like a provisional, like final contracts with like final prices and stuff, just for us to have a quick read over before going down the next day. We found an extra $12,000 on our contract for 6-star energy rating. Brandon and I were like, what is going on here? This is meant to be included. Like, we've been told from the start that this would be included. What is this $12,000 for? Like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, we couldn't do anything because this was like 9:30 at night. We went down to the contract appointment the next day and straight up we were like, what the F? Why are you trying to charge us $12,000 for something that you told us was included? Now, the poor girl our building coordinator, she actually had to go and consult with a few other people to figure out what that was all about. Essentially, and I'm still so peeved about it, essentially in the house we have increased the height of some ceilings. So the ceilings downstairs are nearly 3 meters high, I think, and the ceilings upstairs are also higher than the standard ceiling size. We've also changed a few windows in the house to make them a little bit bigger. Not much. I mean, I'm kidding you, like not much. And we've extended the lounge room wall out a little bit to have it, you know, just like it's a bigger lounge room. Basically, as a result, like they then send all of the plans and like the contracts and stuff to an external company that assesses the house for 6-star energy rating. The company has come back and said that we have to double glaze all the windows throughout the entire house to meet 6-star energy rating. We were like, oh my gosh, I was just so peeved. I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because this now means that we will have double glazed windows, which is always a great thing, and especially for selling the property later on down the track. Like, people are really energy conscious and are really wanting double glazing in their homes. But to find out that at the last minute, like, Porter Davis would have known that, you know, increasing like the room capacity and stuff in with the ceiling height and, you know, some of the windows and whatnot, they would have known that that would affect our energy rating, and they never said anything. And we essentially got to the very last day, you know, we were at the deadline. It was time to either sign the contract and accept the house and start building or walk away. And it was just, we were fairly annoyed that we found out at the last minute. So they were kind enough to shave some of the price off that because, you know, it was a last minute thing and it was such a shock, and I do appreciate them doing that. But yeah, just beware if you make any alterations to your home, and it's not even just them as a builder, like any builder, if you are building in Victoria, if you make any alterations, you increase window size, door size, ceiling size, room size, anything like that, you're likely to be liable for some additional charges to meet the new 6-star energy rating rules. Just remember that. Yeah, we cut out a few other things. So after cutting out those other things and then adding in the additional extra money for the 6-star energy rating, we're exactly where we need to be, and everything was okay in the end. We ended up getting rid of our mantelpiece as well. We were paying for Porter Davis for a mantelpiece. We were gonna, honestly, it sounds, I mean, you're gonna like lol at me when I tell you, but just for the mantelpiece alone, not the fireplace, I think it was $4,000. So we've gotten rid of that, and Brandon's actually now going to build a mantelpiece himself. He's pretty handy. We're going to get a sort of fake electric, it's like a sort of old style electric fire from Early Settler. If you're interested in getting anything from there, I'll link them down below. They've got some really nice furniture. But we're going to get a fireplace from Early Settler instead, and it'll look exactly the same. It'll look beautiful and perfect with the white mantelpiece, but it's only going to cost us about $1,500 including the fireplace now. So be warned, do your research, find out about external providers and all that, especially with the floorboards. Like, I'm still like, what? Like, how can they charge an additional $8,000? It is spastic. The only annoying thing with getting the floors installed after is that we also have to pay someone to come in. So Porter Davis will hand over the house. So all downstairs where the carpet isn't, there'll be no floors. It'll just be concrete, and there will be no skirting board as well, because obviously you need to lay the floors and then the skirting board goes on top. So we have had to find a local builder who will have to then come in, install the skirting board after the floorboards are done, and then also pay a painter to come in and paint the skirting boards. Now, it's not, I mean, I think all up that's going to cost us maybe $1,500, and that's to purchase the skirting board and install it and have it painted, in comparison to saving $8,000 for getting the floorboards sourced outside of Porter Davis and then paying that. Like, we're still saving $6,500. So yes, I'm just stressing to you, do your research if you're building, make sure that you look into what you're doing, because there are sneaky costs that they try and sneak up on you, and if you don't, like, if you're not vigilant and you're not being really careful to research it all properly, then you're going to get stung. is essentially what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm probably scaring you all off from building. Don't worry, it's not that bad. Like, it's a really fun process and we're so excited that it's all happening and whatnot. But yeah, just do your research aggressively. Do your research aggressively. In the next vlog, I will take you guys to the block. I will show you guys the block where we're building and whatnot so that you can see. Our block is fairly big. It's 1,000 square meters, and then we'll finally be up to the building part of this journey. So yay! And I'm gonna update you guys all the time. I'll probably update you weekly. I will try and get an extra vlog up weekly to show you guys, you know, where it's at and how it's all going. But the excitement is real. I'm so excited, and the house is gonna be beautiful, and we've made all of the decisions, you know, we've chosen the floors, we've chosen the colorings. Like, in my eyes, that's the stressful part because I am so bad at making decisions. I'm a Libran. Brandon's very cutthroat and he's really good with that stuff. I mean, probably the stressful part, it will be now for him because he'll be there at the house all the time checking up on the builders and making sure, you know, that they're doing everything properly. And I think we are also going to hire an external building supervisor, like inspector kind of person, to work with the Porter Davis building supervisor just to have updates, walk through everything and ensure that everything's up to scratch basically. Because it is a very big house. It is an expensive house that we're building. So you know, you just have to make sure that everything is going to be done properly because, I mean, it's like anything. If you're spending, you know, if you're investing, you know, time and money into something, then you need to make sure that it's the best. So yeah, that is pretty well where things are at. Oh, let's actually go, I'll go grab that floorboard sample for you now and give you guys a quick look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're up to at the minute. Okay, so this is the color of the floorboard that we've chosen. It's a beautiful kind of warm, medium kind of dark brown color. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, the provider is French Oak Floors and we've chosen the color C07. Now we are going to have these laid in the herringbone pattern. You would have seen in one of my previous vlogs when we went through the display home, they had that beautiful herringbone pattern on the floor in the house. So they're still going to be laid that way, but with this beautiful sort of medium darker kind of brown finish. So yay. For those of you that are interested to work with this company in Victoria to get them laid in the herringbone pattern, it's about $190 per square meter. So yes, it is quite expensive, but they're proper composite French oak floorboards. Like, they're engineered, so they're quite thick. They're glued down onto the slab so that you don't have any chance of buckling. They've got a lifetime warranty, so any fading or any damage to the stain or anything, it's all entirely covered. Also, something else important to note is in terms of investing money in your house, if you've got hardwood floors in your house, you actually get that back when you sell the house later on. They're an additional, like, they're considered an additional value. So Georgie, can you not? They're an additional value, so yeah, really worth it. So yeah, that's basically where things are at the minute. I will talk to you guys next week and we will go and visit the block and suss all of that out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video. Please, if you've got any questions at all, leave them in the comment section down below. More than happy to answer your questions, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.